Okay, so tonight we're going to start standing up. Obviously, got a bit of a stretchy class for you this evening, nothing too strenuous. Bit of breathing, bit of stretching, bit of balancing. If you need to rest, rest, and if you need to modify for your unique practice, then obviously modify for your unique practice. It's your body that you're living in, you know it best. So starting with some breath. So inhaling the arms up above the head for the count of 4. Holding the breath in the body, maybe pulling the chin back in line with the collarbones a little for 4. Exhaling the arms out to the sides, all the way back down to our hips for the count of 4. And then leaving the breath outside of the body for the count of 4. So inhaling arms up, 3, 4. Hold with the chin tucked in, 3, 4. Exhaling out to the sides, 3, 4. Holding the breath outside of the body, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In. Hold. Out. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. And taking a slight bend in the knees so that the knees are comfortable and there's a bit of bounce in the legs. Bringing the hands out in front of you. Inhale as you really open the chest and expand the lungs, stretching the hands out to the side. And then exhale as you allow the ribs to soften and hands coming back together. Inhale to expand and open. And then exhale to soften and close. Inhale to expand and open. Exhale to soften and close. Inhale, expand. Exhale, soften. 3 more in time with your own breath. And then once you've done those 3, do 1 more breath and make it the biggest, longest, deepest, slowest breath you've done all day. Really taking things gently and really expanding those lungs. When you think you're full, take another sip. And then exhale just as slowly. And standing with your feet hip width, so right underneath your hips. Bring your arms straight up above your head. Make your body strong. So engage the muscles around the legs, engage the muscles around the torso, engage the muscles around the shoulders. And then reach up with the right arm, keeping that tension in the body. And then lower it back down. Reach up with the other arm. Lower it back down. Keep that tension in the body. Reaching up with the right arm. Lowering it down. Up with the left arm. Lowering it down. Up with the right. Lower it down. Up with the left. Lower it down. Then dropping the right hand down towards the side, keeping the left arm above our heads. Go over towards the right, keeping that armpit open towards the ceiling and keeping the tension in the body as we move. Then pulling everything in, come back up to center. Take a nice big inhale. Pull all of those muscles in and pull them tight. And then exhale as you go over to the side, reaching through those fingertips, feeling the stretch down the side of the body, pulling everything in nice and tightly. And then coming back up. One more. Inhale up, exhale over. Good. And then coming back up to center, switch the arms. Take a nice big inhale, reach up through those fingertips. Then exhale over to the left. Keeping that armpit open towards the ceiling, keeping some tension in the body. Really engage the legs. Inhale back up to center. And then exhale over again. Really reaching out through those fingertips, pulling the tummy muscles in, pulling all of the muscles in around the lower back. Couple of breaths. And then inhaling up to the top. Last one, exhale over. Keeping a little bit of tension in the muscles. Really reaching through those top fingers. And then calming back up to center and dropping that hand down. Good. Just doing a few little fascia circles to finish off the warm-up. So start by taking the weight into the right leg and lifting up the left foot, circling through that ankle 3 times in one direction and then 3 times in the other direction. Once you've done your 3, move into the knee. 3 circles in one direction. And then 3 circles in the other direction. Then we move into the hip. You can always hold on to something if you need to for balance, or use a wall or a door or a chair. And then take those circles in the other direction. Good. Oops. And then we'll move to the other leg. So starting again with the ankle, 3 big circles one way, and then 3 in the other direction. Then into the knee for 3, and the other way for 3. And then into the hip. And again in the other direction for 3. Then bringing the feet to hip width, maybe a little wider, circle through the hips. Have a little bit of tension in the muscles around the hips and around the glutes and into the legs. And then take those circles in the other direction. Again, keeping a little bit of tension in the muscles. A little bit of tension in the muscles just helps to free up the lines of fascia in the body, which makes us more bendy and more elastic. And then bring the hips back to center. Same again, a little bit of tension in the torso as we move the ribs around in a circle. And then take that in the other direction. My husband has just cracked open a beer in the garden, sitting in his rocking chair in the sunshine whilst we're doing yoga. It's teasing us. And then moving into the shoulders. Amy seems to think that's hilarious. He's just cheersed us all anyway. Well done for doing exercise. Yes, Ginny. And then the other way. And then allowing the hands to come in front of the body, we will open the hands and the shoulders out towards the sides and then bring them back forward again. So we open them up and roll the shoulders back, and then we close them and we roll the shoulders forward. So we're really trying to get our shoulder blades engaged in this movement as well. And again, a little bit of tension in the muscles. Keep breathing. And then once you've done that both ways equally, it's coming to the wrists, big circles through the wrists, and then in the other direction, into the elbows, and the other way, and then into the shoulders. Having a go at trying to do both shoulders together tonight, even if that means you're not moving quite as close to your ears. Excellent. And then take those circles in the other direction, feeling all that movement in your shoulders. And then allowing the hands to come down by your sides. Take the left ear towards the left shoulder. And just enjoy that stretch down the side of the neck to start with. Relaxing the right shoulder down. Maybe giving yourself a little massage down the side of your neck. Couple of breaths here. And then take that chin towards the shoulder. And very slowly roll it all the way around the front, scraping the chin across the collarbones till you get to the other side. Then take the ear towards the shoulder. Relax the left shoulder down this time. And give yourself a little massage on this side. And then drop that chin back down towards the shoulder. Roll it around the front. And then take the ear to the shoulder. Coming up to center. Keep the chin parallel to the floor this time. And look around over the left shoulder. Maybe giving it a little push with your fingers. And then to the other side, looking over the right shoulder. To the left. And to the right. Good. Let's get into some flows. So coming toward the top of your mat. Feet either together or hip width, whatever is more comfortable. Inhale the arms up above your head. Then bending the knees, exhale, come all the way down to the ground and hang the head heavy. Inhale into a halfway lift, long back, long neck. Then exhale, bring the hands back to the mat. Take the left leg back and drop the back knee. Inhale the arms up above the head. Drop the hips down and then take a little back bend, looking up towards the ceiling. And then exhale the hands down to the mat, taking the hips back to stretch out down the front of the back of the front leg. Inhale as we come forwards, drop the hips, open the chest, look up. And then exhale, bring the hands back down to the mat, scoot the hip back and stretch out down the back of the front leg. One more, coming forwards, inhaling the arms up above the head, dropping the hips, opening the chest, looking up. And then exhale, bring the hands back to the mat, scooping the hips back, stretching out down the back of that front leg. Then ground down through that front foot, tuck the back toes and lift the knee, then step back to plank. Take the knees down towards the floor, then take the chest and the chin down towards the floor and scoot forwards into cobra. Really stretching the chest forwards. Exhale back down to the mat. Take the hips back towards your heels into child's pose. One really deep breath here. Then bringing your head up, tuck the toes and push up into our first downward facing dog. Really stretch out through the fingertips. Doesn't matter if the knees are bent. It's more important for there to be a long line from the wrists up through the arms, the shoulders and the whole back, all the way up to the sit bones. Once you have that long line, then you can play with maybe taking one heel to the ground as you bend the opposite leg and then switching from side to side. If it's in your practice and you want to stretch down the backs of the legs, come up onto your tiptoes and then stretch both heels down towards the mat. Then float the left leg up and bend at the knee, open the hip, getting a good stretch into the deep core muscles and the psoas. Couple of breaths here. Then level off the hips, bring that foot forwards all the way until it's between the hands and drop the back knee. Keeping the left hand on the ground or on the fingertips if you can't quite reach. Open up the right arm towards the ceiling into an open twist. So we're twisting away from our leg. Other way, Amy. That's it. So we're open instead of closed, yeah. Really nice big breath here. And then drop the top arm down and twist the other way. So this time we are twisting towards the leg. Once you've had a couple of breaths there, float the top arm back down towards the mat and lift up the back knee. Then step that back foot forwards. Inhale, halfway lift, long back, long neck. Exhale, forward fold. Then inhale all the way up to the top. And then exhale, hands back to heart center. 3 breaths here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down through center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down through center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down through center. Other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Let the back hang over our upper legs. Inhale, halfway lift, long neck, long back. And then exhale, fold. Take the right leg back this time, drop the knee. Inhale the arms up above the head. Get comfortable in your pose as you exhale. Then inhale, stretch up through the fingers, drop the hips, open the chest towards the ceiling, looking up. Exhale, bring the hands towards the mat, scoot the hips back and get a stretch down the back of the front leg. As you inhale, come forward through that stretch, opening the arms and the chest to the ceiling, looking up. And then exhale, bring the hands back down to the mat, scoop the hips back, stretch out down the back of the leg. One more each way. Inhale, come forwards, lift the arms up, open the chest, look up. And then exhale, drop the hands down, scoop the hips back, stretch out that front leg, lifting the toe if you need. Then coming forwards, press up through the back foot so the knee lifts, and take the front foot back to plank. Either take the knees, the chest and the chin to the floor, or take the weight slightly forward and come down through chaturanga, nice and controlled. And then either into cobra or up dog. If you're in up dog, engage the core, engage the legs. Everybody exhale back down to the mat. Take the hips back into a very deep breath in child's pose. Then lifting the head, tuck the toes and push up into downward facing dog. Having a wiggle and a jiggle in your dog, wherever you need to stretch. Then float the right leg up behind you. Bend at the knee, open the hip, trying to keep the shoulders level. Couple of breaths here. Nice deep stretch through the core of the body. And then bring that knee forward, placing the foot between the front hands. Drop the back knee. Starting with the open twist. So right hand stays on the floor and we open up the left towards the ceiling. We're really trying to elongate the spine, making it long and stretching along that front thigh. Opening the shoulder as much as you're able to. Couple of breaths here. Then float that hand back down to the ground and open up the other way. Couple of breaths here. Again, try to elongate the spine and open the top shoulder as much as you can. And then float the top hand back down to the mat. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and step that back foot forwards. Inhale into a halfway lift, long back and long neck. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Then 3 breaths. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down through center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down through center. Then inhale, arms up. Exhale, sit down into your chair. Get really comfortable in your chair. Obviously, your knees will be forward of your ankles. Bring the hands to heart center. Really engage all of the muscles in the legs, keeping the chest open. See if you can come up onto your tiptoes. Find a point of focus, really squeeze the legs towards one another, and then take the heels back down. Excellent. Come up onto the tiptoes again. Really engaging all of those legs and the muscles. Take the heels back down. One more. Up onto the tiptoes. Take the heels back down. Good. Stretch up. Just have a little kick through those legs. And this time, inhale up, the arms are up. Exhale, come down into chair, bringing the hands to heart center. Take a nice big inhale in chair, and then twist around towards the left, aiming to get your elbow over your knee. Having a little look down at your knees to see whether they're still in line. Stretching the spine forwards and then allowing it to twist. Couple of breaths here. Then release that knee, come back to center. Inhale all the way up to the top. And then exhale back down into your chair and twist the other way. And have a couple of breaths here. Again, look down, check on your knees, make sure they're still in line. Elongate the spine as much as you can and then twist. Couple of breaths here. Then inhaling, come back to center, stretch all the way up, bring the hands down and have a little kick with the legs. Good. 3 breaths. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, make a really big circle out to the sides. Inhale the arms up. Exhale really slowly, as slow as you can, as the arms come down to the sides. Inhale, short breath up. Exhale, nice and slow and long. Exhale all the way back down. One more. Inhale up. Exhale slowly, smoothly, as the arms come down to the side. Excellent. Coming to the tops of your mats again, if you're not there already. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Keeping the feet hip width distance. Allow your knees to bend so that your torso is laid on your thighs. Then walk your hands around towards the right. And really sit down through the left sit bone, feeling a stretch down the left side of the body. Maybe walk the left fingertips forward so you can feel a stretch down the arm or maybe into the armpit. Couple of breaths here. Then walk the hands back through center and then walk them around to the other side, still making sure your torso is in contact with your thighs. This side, sit down through the right sit bone and stretch out through the right fingertips, trying to feel a stretch all the way down the right side of the body. Lowering the armpit, feel the stretch into the arm or maybe even the armpit. Couple of breaths here. Then walk those hands back to center. Stretch out through the legs. And then take a bend in the legs again and step the left foot back. Maybe walk the front toe so it's in between the hands. Find a really comfortable position with the legs. Your back foot can either be down on the heel or on your toes, whatever you find more comfortable. Then inhale up into crescent lunge or warrior one. Drop down through the hips. Get really comfortable here. Drop your right hand to your right hip and then stretch over with the left arm. Feeling that stretch down the left side of the body. Hopefully feeling that stretch somewhere down the left side of the body. Really engaging through the legs, pulling the inner thighs towards one another, pulling the tummy muscles in. One more breath here. Then come up through center, taking both arms up towards the sky. Inhale, reach up through the fingertips. Exhale, float the hands down to the mat. Step that front foot back into plank. Either come down through the knees, chest, chin, or through chaturanga. And then into cobra or up dog. Stretching the chest forward, lengthening through the whole of the front body. Couple of breaths here. Pushing the ground away with the hands so the shoulders are back and down the body. Then exhale, come down to the floor. Take the hips back and have a couple of breaths in child's pose. Then lifting the head and the torso up, tuck the toes and push up into downward facing dog. Really lengthening down the whole spine, pointing those sit bones up towards the ceiling. Then floating the left leg up behind you. Bring it forwards, place it on the mat, and then drop the back heel into warrior two legs. As you windmill the arms up into warrior two. Excellent. Looking out over the front palm. Really stretch the fingers away from one another. Make the legs really strong and engaged. Make the torso engaged. Then flip the front palm. And through that tension, move into reverse warrior. Really reaching the top palm up towards the ceiling. Looking up. And then as you exhale, come forwards and all the way into triangle pose. So the bottom hand is on the inside of your ankle. The top palm is reaching up. And we're using our core strength to hold us in this position. So not resting the fingers on the floor. Take a nice big inhale. On your exhale, pull your core muscles in. And then inhale back up through warrior two and into reverse warrior. And then as you exhale, come forwards and into triangle, keeping those legs strong, keeping them engaged. Excellent. One more in each direction. On the next inhale, come up through warrior two, into reverse warrior, looking up. Keeping that bend in the front leg. And then on the next exhale, come forwards and in to triangle pose. Good. One more breath here. Then windmill the top hand down, frame the front foot, twist on the back toes, and step that back foot forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees a lot and inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. 3 breaths. This time, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands out to the side, making the exhale longer than the inhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms out to the sides, making that exhale long and smooth. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale. Smoothly, slowly. Inhale, arms up to the other side. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Take the right foot back this time. Either stay on your toes or drop the heel, up to you. And then inhale the arms up into crescent lunge, warrior one. On this side, drop the left hand down to the left hip and then reach the right arm over so you get a stretch down the right side of the body. Keep the legs engaged. Keep the inner thighs pulling towards one another. Keep the core pulled in and just feel the stretch. Really stretching through those fingertips. And then coming back up through center. Inhale the other arm up, so both fingers are pointing towards the ceiling. And then exhale, take them down to frame the front foot and step back to plank. Either do knees, chest, chin, or come down through chaturanga into cobra or upward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. Stretching the whole front line of the body, keeping the chest forward, making sure the shoulders are well away from the ears. And then come back down to the mat. Take the hips back towards the heels and have 2 breaths in child's pose. Coming up through tabletop, tuck the toes and push up into downward facing dog. Really stretching that back long. Taking those sit bones up towards the ceiling. And then float the right leg up this time. Bring it forwards and place it between the hands, giving it an extra tug if you need to. Drop the back foot and windmill those arms up into warrior two. Find your strong warrior two first. Get strong in your legs. Make sure your step is the right length for your body so you're comfortable. Stretch out through the fingertips, engage the arm muscles, pull the core muscles in, flip the front palm, then inhale back into reverse warrior. Looking up towards the ceiling, reaching those top fingers up. Then on your next exhale, come forwards into triangle, keeping the legs strong, reaching your fingertips up as much as you're reaching the opposite fingertips down. Either look down towards the big toe or up towards the top thumb, whichever is more comfortable on your neck. Couple of breaths here. On your next inhale, go back into reverse warrior. Keeping those legs strong. Couple of breaths back here. Reaching up through the top fingers. On the next exhale, come back forwards into triangle. Spreading those fingers apart. Taking your preferred head position. Still squeezing the inner thighs towards one another. Pulling the core muscles in. Inhale back up into reverse. Really stretching through those fingers. And then exhale as you come forwards into triangle. Just a couple of breaths here. Stretching the fingertips apart from one another. Using the core strength to hold yourself in the pose. Pressing down through the feet into the mat. Then float the top arm down. Frame the front foot and twist onto the toes of the back foot. Stepping forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to the top. And exhale, hands back to heart center. Good stuff. Okay, we'll do one quick balance pose before we go down to the floor. So it's up to you which kind of balance you'd like to do. If you want to do tree, whatever variation, whether it's on your ankle, your calf, your inner thigh, or the Bikram version, where the foot's turned out, entirely up to you. If you want to have a go at doing dancer's pose, making sure that you're really grounded before you move anywhere, knees squeezing together, arm up above the head. Kick back before you come forwards. with Dancer's Pose if you're doing that one. If you want to do half moon, that's your third option for today. If you need a block or a stool or a couple of books, whatever you have to hand, start off with both feet on the ground, reaching one hand down towards the block, lift the opposite leg behind you, open the hip, open the top arm, and then once you're in a comfortable position, try and lift the hand off the block. So whichever balance you fancy today, this is your moment to do it. If it's tree, do tree. If it's half moon, find a point of focus, pull everything in. The tighter your muscles are around your bones, the easier a balance is to hold. 2 more breaths here. And then on the next exhale, pull the core muscles in and gently release yourself out of the pose. And then whichever pose you were in, we'll move to the other side. So again, if you want to do tree, the only place you don't put your foot is on your knee. So either your ankle, your calf, your inner thigh, or the Bikram version where you're turned out on your thigh. Hands can be wherever you prefer. In prayer, in reverse prayer, elbow to elbow, being a tree, whatever you fancy. If you're doing Dancer's Pose, make sure you're grounded down through the foot. Always get a good line of energy in the body before you move anywhere. Kick the leg back first to get the back bend, and then kick back as much as you reach forward as you come down into Dancer's Pose. And if you're doing half moon, always start on the block, both feet on the ground, take the opposite foot up than the hand that's on the block, open the hip first, so that you're as if you're squidged between 2 pieces of glass. Then take the top arm up, engage everything, press down through the foot, and then maybe take the hand off the block if you feel comfortable to do so. 2 more breaths in whichever pose you've chosen. And then pull the core in on your next exhale and gently come out of whichever pose you are in. Coming to the middle of your mats. Either take your hands to your knees and do some sort of squat, or if it's in your practice, come all the way down into Malasana, pressing the elbows on the insides of the knees. If you're in some sort of yogi squat, you could also do goddess, stretching out down the sides. It's another option. So move wherever your body wants to move. And just take a couple of breaths in whatever pose you've chosen. Good. And then releasing the hands, maybe taking them around to the back, come down onto the bottom, stretching one leg out in front of you and bending the other one in towards you. So bending the right leg in maybe. If you have the right leg bent in, take the right hand behind you and then grounding down through the heel of the long leg, sweep your left arm across in front of you and stretch up into star. Really feeling that nice lengthening down the side of the body, pressing the foot down into the mat, stretching the fingertips away. Couple of breaths here. And then come back down. Switch the legs over so the left leg is in. Take the left arm around behind the body, and then sweep the right arm around the front and into star on the other side. Pressing down through the foot, stretching the fingers away. Really feeling that lengthening down the side body. Couple of breaths here. And then sweep the arm back round as you bring the sit bones back down towards the mat. Then coming into butterfly legs, I like to scoot back a little so that my bony ankles are on the mat. So we'll press our hands into the inside of our knees as much as our knees are pressing into our hands. So we're resisting our own movement. Hold for a couple of seconds and then release. Then we do the same again, pressing the knees away, but also hugging the knees into the hands. And then release. And then a third one, really pressing away, but pushing the knees back into the hands. And then release. And then completely the opposite. Bring your knees up and hug your arms around your knees. So your feet want to be quite close to you for this one. And as you press your knees out to the sides, we're hugging our elbows in around our knees. So again, creating some resistance. So press them out and squeeze them in for a couple of seconds. And then release that off completely. Press them out and squeeze them in. And then release. And then press those knees out as we squeeze our elbows in. And then release. Excellent. Take both legs straight out in front of you. Hug the left leg in and cross the foot over the knee. Turning around towards the leg. So we're hugging our arm and our elbow around the bent leg and looking over the left shoulder. Trying to keep the spine long and tall and stacked and to twist around the axis of the spine. Couple of breaths here. Then unravel yourself as you come back to center and open twist the other way. Just gently looking over the right shoulder and pressing your elbow onto the inside of your knee. Then coming back to center, switching out the legs, taking the left leg long, bringing the right leg in, and then cross the foot over your knee. Make sure both sit bones are grounded. Take a nice big inhale so you're nice and tall, and then twist around and hug that knee. Maybe taking the right hand to the floor, look over the right shoulder. One more breath here. And then gently coming back through center, keeping the spine nice and tall. Turn for a little counter twist in the other direction. Again, using your elbow on the inside of your knee if you want to, and looking out over the left shoulder. Coming back round to center. Untangle the legs and spin yourself around on your mat. Feet on the ground, hands out in front of you. Let's roll down nice and slowly, pulling those tummy muscles in, making yourself feel really strong. When it gets hard, pull those tummy muscles in a little bit more and then go down a little bit more. Nice and gently, all the way back down onto the mat. And let the left leg stretch out long. Bring the right knee in towards the torso.
Interlace the fingers over the top of the shin. Make sure the right foot is really relaxed. And then engage the left leg. Tighten all the muscles around the left leg, maybe flex the foot. Then pull the right knee in towards the right shoulder. Really using your arm strength. Taking the knee out towards the shoulder so you have more space in the hip. Squeezing the shoulder blades behind your back. Keep breathing, keep squeezing, maybe a little tighter. And then completely relax and release the right leg. Hugging the left leg in. Interlace the fingers over the shin and relax the left foot. Make the right leg strong. Engage all the muscles around the leg, flex the foot. Then pull the left knee towards the left shoulder, making some space in that hip bone. Really squeeze the shoulder blades behind you, using that arm strength to pull the knee in as much as you can. Strengthen the right leg again, really engage all those muscles. Squeeze a little tighter, and then completely relax and release both legs. Then hug both knees in. Really squeeze the knees in as much as you can. And then hug your arms around your knees. Relax the head back down onto the mat. Really squeeze the knees towards you. And try and lengthen the spine back down onto the mat as much as you can. Really squeeze as tightly as you can. Squeezing those shoulder blades together behind you. One more breath. And then completely relax and release. Take those legs out long. Enjoy the lengthening of the hip flexors as you do that. Then taking the feet up towards the ceiling, bend the knees in towards your armpits and reach through for the feet, coming into Happy Baby. In Happy Baby, try and get the knees as close to your armpits as you can. And then once you've curled through the spine, try to lengthen the lower back down towards the mat. Couple of breaths here. And then release off your Happy Baby and do whichever pose you want to do for your last pose. Whether it's a stretch or a twist, a forward fold or a forward bend even, or a backward bend, it's entirely up to you. Whatever pose your body wants to do this evening. Two more breaths here. And then whichever pose you are in, gently and slowly make your way into Savasana. Stretching the legs out long on the mat. Letting the feet fall out to the sides. Arms down by your sides, the palms face up. Any problems in the lower back at all, bring your feet to the mat and let your knees roll in. Or you can bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees roll out, whichever is more comfortable for you. And then completely relax your body on your mat. Noticing where the body touches the mat, the heels, calves, backs of the legs, glutes, middle back, upper back, shoulders, upper arms, forearms, back of the hand, back of the head. And then notice where there's space between your body and the mat. The ankle and Achilles tendon, back of the knee, maybe back of the leg, lower back, maybe around the elbow or the armpits, back of the neck. Just take a moment to have a mindful check-in with your body, noticing how it feels, noticing if there's any areas of stress or tension. And then we will take 10 deep breaths, sending the breath deep into the body. And on each exhale, breathing out those last pieces of stress or tension. And gently bringing the awareness back to the body. Maybe wiggling the fingers and toes. Maybe passing the thumb over each of the fingertips. Maybe circling through the ankles and the wrists. Maybe rolling the head from one side to the other side. Move your body in whatever way you want to move. If you want to stretch, stretch. If you want to twist, twist. If you want to do a lateral stretch, do a lateral stretch, a sideways bend. And if you want to hug your knees in, then hug your knees in. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your side and come up to seated. And we'll finish with 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. If you'd like to do lion's breath, as you exhale, poke your tongue out as far as it will go and stretch the chest forward. So nice big inhale. Excellent stuff. Thank you for joining me on the mat this evening and making the effort to exercise. I hope you enjoyed it. Yes! Whoop whoop!